Hey guys, I'm Haley with American Mosh Pits, and I'm here with Old Man Flash, the Flash, and the Pit Demon. How do you guys feel about Incarceration Festival?
I think it's a pretty good venue. I like the band so far. The mosh pits today have been pretty good, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same sentiment. The pits are a little bit unique here. First couple days, there's a lot more of these sort of face-off, kind of one-on-one wrestling matches going on, just single takedowns. I don't see a whole lot of that elsewhere, but there's been some push pits. Today's definitely a lot more traditional, and like he said, great bands. Got a few more up, and then the weekend overall has just been pretty good.
Yeah, there have been a lot of those one-on-one stuff, and then the second stage has been pretty tame too, so we got a bit of the younger generation involved.
How are the pits at Incarceration?
Yesterday they were pretty rough. There was some people that got in that it hit pretty heavy, and then the whole one-on-one stuff was different. I hadn't been involved with that, but today we're trying to get more people involved, right? So it's more of a traditional mosh pit, and it helps when the bands kind of like direct that. Like the last band we saw, they kind of direct, hey, we want to get some circle pits going. It's easy to get pits going when the band is on top of it and go, we want this, we can produce.
Well, yeah, and it's pretty much been kind of stop and go throughout the weekend. You get it going, and then everybody's like stopping and taking a breath. I understand, because it's really hot out here today. It's been in the 80s all weekend, and there's not a whole lot of cloud coverage, so it's just people are getting winded. That's cool, but yeah, I mean, with all the stop and go, when it is going, you get a lot of people in there who are pretty don't even know how you phrase it. They're larger people, and so they're knocking people around a little bit. It's getting a little rough. There's some injuries. Myself, I got dumped on my shoulder yesterday, and so probably got like a fracture or a tear or something going on there. Still in the pits today. I just have to use my right shoulder. But I mean, it's not bad. I wouldn't call anything going on bad. It's unique.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of this one-on-one stuff going on before. Godsmack, I was the only one here for Godsmack, and that was what you would call a typical mosh pit. It was pretty good sized. Had a lot of people participating. It was hard to get started, but once it got started, it wouldn't end.
I tried to crowd surf into that one, and I didn't make it. They routed me back to the guys, and I want to go over that way.
What's the first festival you ever went to?
I went to 2016 Sonic Temple. That was my first festival. Now, I'm 51 years old, all right? So that's not the first concert that I've ever been to. So show my age here a little bit and say my first real concert that mosh pitting, those kind of things kind of happened was Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, and they opened up with Rat. So Rat, and then Ozzy Osbourne, wonderful. 1986, 86, man, I can't believe it's been that long ago, and here I am today.
Well, I'm not even going to go into my first concert because I'm very embarrassed for the first band I saw, but actually kind of cool. My first festival was Ozfest in 07, the year that it was free if you got Black Rain, because his album dropped that year. That's how they were trying to push it. So I don't remember most of the day. It was before I was moshing, but it rained really hard, and that kind of prevented a lot of activity going on. But you had Lordy on the main stage. Then you had Static X before Wayne died, so that was cool. You got to see him. Then you had Lamb of God, and then you had Ozzy close it out. And my friend Derek actually had gotten one of the seated area tickets in addition to the free ones. So this was before they had tight security. So he was able to like sneak us in there one at a time, so we all actually got to go sit in the seats to see Ozzy. And Ozzy's like my first musical obsession, so I was in there. I don't think I watched any of the show. I was like just singing along the whole time. But it was cool actually seeing Zakk Wylde do the whole national anthem thing where he plays with his teeth at the end and all that. So first festival I moshed at though would have been Knotfest in 2014. Got to thinking about this actually. It wasn't Amon Amarth, I know I said that the other day, but first pit I was in was actually, there was a circle pit around the merch tent for Upon a Burning Body. And I remember it now because like it was the first time I'd ever been in a pit at all. And I accidentally knocked like a little girl over and I scrambled to try to pick her up, but the whole circle was going on too fast behind me. So I got shoved and then somebody picked her up and I just rolled to the side and I was like, I almost killed somebody. I don't know if I like this. And I got shoved back in and I started walking the other way and got beat up and I was like, I like that part. So that became my thing. Like it's just walking against the circle pits since 2014. So.
Yeah, my first festival was Rock on the Range 2016. I just started getting into metal around summer 2015. One of my favorite bands was Disturbed, and then they were headlining the Friday, I think. And then I didn't start moshing till like 2017, 2018. I actually started out as a crowd surfer. I would crowd surf like 5 or 6 times per set. My most memorable mosh pit was the Attila in 2017, Rock on the Range. Dude picked up a full fucking garbage can and started running around with it. That was amazing.
What has been the best festival you've been to?
All right. Well, since it's the Reverse Flash has just recently been born, I'll go Sonic Temple 2019, just recently, and just the whole getting into the pit, crowd surfing at the age of 51, like I said, and it's been a fountain of youth. I guess that's the best way to putting it. And I don't ever want to go back. I want to stay in shape, want to eat right, and I want a mosh pit. So that's where I'm at now, and I'll stay there for a long time.
And I actually got to thinking about this, as I know our first interview didn't have good sound, but gave me a chance to think over the questions again. So actually, for me, it would have been Chicago Open Air 2017. It was before I was doing the whole festival character thing. I was still doing face paint, but it's much less refined back then. But that's where this is not the part that makes it good, but that's where I actually screwed up my wrist, which is why I gotta wear the wrist brace now. But I moshed so much at that festival that like basically just left covered in bruises, but it was also out in the sun, so like you couldn't tell what part of me was sunburnt and one part of me was bruised. So that happened in a Cane Hill pit, but like day 2 you had Godsmack before Korn. Me and my friend pushed our way all to the front, so we were actually on the rail for Korn, which was awesome. I never have to see them again, I still will, but I've already done everything you can do with a Korn show, so like that was great. I got set on fire in a Slayer pit on day 3. Yeah, that was a wild one. But then
I don't think I want to get set on fire in a spandex suit. I think I'll pass on that one.
It's not for the faint of heart. Like, if you can avoid getting set on fire, don't do it. Don't do it. But I don't know. I like twisted my ankle at a point. Had to get crowd surfed out. Ozzy was the headliner on day 3, so with like a messed up ankle, I'm still in there just like hobbling around in the mosh pit on one foot. I had to drive 7 hours to get home the next day too, so that didn't help because I didn't have cruise control, so I'm sitting there with my injured foot trying to drive us for however many 100 miles that is. But no, it was a blast. Like, it was the first time I went to a festival in like any kind of character. You know, I was with my friend Matt, who wears masks everywhere, and so like the crowd just ate us up. This one bartender lady just started giving me free drinks after a while. So like by day 3, I was just hammered the entire time. Don't drink, kids, but yeah.
Best to stay sober in a mosh pit.
Oh yeah.
That was before Uber, so I didn't have quite the same restrictions. But no, I mean, I can't off the top of my head think of any festival that's beat that one. I can't wait to see what Danny Wimmer does with his other 3-day fests. I'm actually excited because I feel like Welcome to Rockville next year might be on par with like your Chicago open airs of the past.
My favorite's probably Warped Tour 2017, not because of like the mosh pits, but like some of my favorite bands were there. Ailstorm without the H, they were there. Pirate metal band, they were pretty awesome. I got to be up to the bar with them. And then Attila was touring with Warped Tour that year too, and they were pretty fun. Although Riverbend, which I was at the Cincinnati Warped Tour location, they didn't really have a whole lot of room to mosh, so a whole lot of horizontal pit, but it was shaped like a disc. So yeah.
What made you guys choose your paints and costumes?
So this is a Flash, right? And he's my son. And when I got into mosh pitting and crowd surfing, one of the things I said to him when he picked his costume is if I don't see you crowd surf, then it didn't happen. So we chose a bright red costume, and he was a cross-country runner. And Flash is born, right? Well, when I was going to go to Sonic Temple after getting in shape, like he basically said the same thing. He goes, if I don't see you crowd surf, it didn't happen. So who else would a dad of the Flash be than the arch nemesis, the reverse Flash, and therefore the crowd surfing Flashes were born. So that's how I chose my outfit.
And for me, it was just, I already mentioned my friend Matt. He's the one who wears the masks. And, we'd go to all these festivals, and he'd get all this attention, which was cool. Like, people would stop and ask for pictures, things like that. And I'm a little bit of an attention whore, so I was like, I want to get in on that. So, but every time we'd get out of the pits, like, he'd take his mask off, his face just drenched in sweat, and he's having a hard time breathing and all that. I'm like, okay, I want a character, but I want to be able to mosh without dying. So I was just like, I'll do face paint. Face paint would be something I can change it up every time, keep it unique. And so Halloween 2017, I just picked up a couple of just random brushes, some Halloween paint, and I did freehand, just kind of threw some stuff together. Now I've got 3 different characters. Day 1, I was my original, that's Bodis. Yesterday I was Optus. Today this is Cyrus. And it's just kind of a festival staple now. I don't go to any shows without doing this.
Yeah.
So,
It's easy to find him.
It's always in the pit.
It is.
Or on the side.
yeah, I mean, gotta keep the pit safe. So if you can't be in it, then at least be the barrier guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure Rock on the Range 2016, we saw Flash, and I was like, holy shit, that's a good idea. And then luckily he didn't show up 2017 Rock on the Range, so we just kept dressing up as the Flash. 2018, I started dyeing my hair with this temporary dye, and then now this is all as permanent. Like, I'm going to college looking like this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that everybody asks us when we're in this costume. Absolutely, everybody asks us, you have got to be hot in this thing. And it's absolutely not. The air goes like through. It's like wearing nothing at all. So I encourage anybody to, be yourself, get dressed up, find who you are. It's not hot. I mean, get out there and be yourself. That's the most important part of these festivals.
So, which band have you guys enjoyed most or looking forward to?
I am a runner, right? I'm gonna run marathons, and I'm a rager runner. So I listen to Five Finger Death Punch when I run, and it gets me in the frame of mind to just, no matter what happens, no matter how I feel, these guys are just telling me, keep going, keep going, keep going. I am so looking forward to them tonight. I saw them in 2016, I think. I had no idea who they were, and I didn't listen to them. And now I do. I listen to them almost every day now, and I'm waiting. I can't wait for the pit for Five Finger Death Punch tonight.
Oh shoot! I mean, for me, honestly, it's Red Sun Rising at this festival. I've been a fan of them since Polyester Zeal dropped. They actually played My Muse, which is my favorite song that they have in their whole catalog. But I think for the duration of their pit, there wasn't a whole lot of actual pitting going on. A little bit low energy, people were kind of wore out, all that. There's a little bit of the face-off stuff, but for most of their set, I was just mouthing the words. Even when I was wandering into the pit, it's just like, I was digging it. But as far as the pits go, with the exception of the shoulder injury, like I was looking forward to Motionless in White, and they delivered. As far as the pits that I've been in, because I had to leave before Godsmack yesterday because of the injury, as far as the pits that we had been in, that was the one that opened up the most. It wasn't for very long, but it got pretty big for a second. And that's when I'm having fun, because that's when you can just wander out into the middle and just like make crazy faces at people and like just stumble around. Like I love the nice open pits because you can really just get into the center of it and like make yourself a presence. You get those smaller ones where everything's all close knit, and you'll get knocked around a lot, and those are fun. I like the contact, but like there's something fun about being able to bring the character into like a full spectrum thing where it's not just a look, where it's just like, now I am the part. And so I got to do that for a little bit during Motionless yesterday. I was really happy about that.
Yeah. We'll have a big pit tonight. There'll be a big pit tonight.
I hope so.
Oh, I'm excited for Five Finger Death Punch. There's going to be a lot of crowd surfing, a lot of moshing, a lot of crazy shit happening. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
I'm definitely going to be crowd surfing.
You're going to crowd surf tonight?
Yes, I am.
All right, absolutely.
We'll keep you safe.
Absolutely.
All right, where can people find you on social media?
Oh, I'm Old Man Flash on Instagram, and we have a dual account on Facebook, or Crowd Surfing Flash is on Facebook. You can find us, find our pictures and that. So
For now, I haven't decided if I'm going to change it later because I've done multiple characters now, but on Instagram it's Bodis the Pit Demon, underscores between all the words. But on Facebook, I've just got it as the Pit Demon. And so I don't remember if I've set up the Snapchat yet, but I don't really ever use Snapchat, so I guess that would be the answer to that question. So yeah, it's pretty much just the Instagram and the Facebook, but I mean, what else do you need, right?
about it.
Yeah, like he said, we have a joint our Facebook page, Crowd Surfing Flashes. I don't really have anything dedicated to Flash itself, but I do have like a personal White Iverson 428, like the Post Malone song, and then my Snapchat is Sam Iverson 08.
Okay, well that's it for Flash, Reverse Old Man Flash, Pit Demon, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Absolutely.